This is the first of our video tutorials about working with images in the work system. We're not going to get into a lot of advanced image editing concepts. Image editing is kind of a discipline unto itself and gets into some pretty complicated stuff that gets well beyond the scope of these tutorials. But there are a few things you can do within the work system, such as resizing and cropping, and I'll also show you a few little tips and tricks on things like how to get images out of Microsoft Word, how to get images off the web, legal of course, and with using nothing more than Microsoft Paint, which you're probably familiar. Paint is the program that comes with the Microsoft Windows operating system. It's the simplest and probably the crudest image editing program out there, but it is what everybody has. So I'll just show you a few little tricks. Everybody using Windows, and I do kind of operate under the assumption that most of our works users are using the Microsoft Windows operating system, given that seems to be what most of the small businesses are on. Okay, well, let's just dive in. First, I want to talk about a couple of terminology items. When I refer to in the work system, inline images versus fixed images. An inline image would be when you are working with your content, such as you're entering all this text here, and you wanted to place an image somewhere in an illustrative image of some sort in here. You've got to resize it, or you've got to put it at a certain size. You can either be on the left side, you can position it over here on the right side with the text around it. You can even position the image all the way across with the text underneath it. There's various things you can do that obviously take a little bit of know-how on your part, and we're going to provide that know-how for you later in this series. A fixed image would be more, let me just scoot this over a little bit. For example, if you were able to replace this image over here in this sidebar, the fixed image would allow you to place whatever size image you have in there. PageWorks will resize it and to the proper size to fit in the space that's allowed by the particular content type. Fixed images are the easiest ones to work with, so that's what we're going to start with. What I generally like to do in these tutorials is start with the easy stuff and work our way up. So I've added a page to our little demo site here, our staff. As you can see, there are no staff profiles. This is a pretty common thing. Many of your sites probably have these. So we're just going to go right up here. As you can see, we're already logged in. We're going to start putting in a staff member. Our first one, his name is D. Howard Duck. He is President and CEO. His direct phone number is 317-555-5555 with a typo there. His email is dduck@ndnetworks.com, and I have put a little bio on the clipboard there to save some time. He holds a master's in quackology, and he likes pooping on your lawn. If you have ducks in your neighborhood, you can relate to that. Okay, so we scroll on down past our text part, and you can see we have a box to put a photo in. This is a similar box to what the text area uses, but you do not want to type in this. You don't want to do anything but place one image in this box, and here's how you do that. You've got an icon right here. We click on that. It gives us a pop-up. We go to Browse Server, and I'm going to scoot this over so we can see this whole window. This is our image library, and one of the things I want to point out before we get going on uploading an image is when you're working in this world, right-clicking creates some new style menus that you probably haven't seen before. So if you are not a right-clicker, now's the time to get started on that. Because you can see you actually, I'm going to scoot this down. You have no menus or drop-downs in this library. Right-clicking is how you get to the menus that allow you to do things. So please do get in the habit of doing that when you're here. And once you get started on that, you will become a convert to right-clicking, and you'll find it's a pretty cool and fast way to do things throughout Windows. So if you're not a right-clicker, welcome. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put an image into this, into our library by using this upload utility down here. I'm going to get our thumbnails. As you can see, we have a pretty interesting staff here at Indie Networks. I upload Mr. Duck. I'm going to double click him, and now it shows me a little preview. I'm going to click OK. Sometimes you have to click OK twice here. I couldn't tell you why. It's just a little quirk there. But as you can see, it's placed a little image of him in there, a thumbnail that we can take a look at. Add, and there he is. It's resized. Now, there are certain other things that particular system does in a fixed image. I'm going to flip over here to our friends at Pearl Engineering and show you their BIOS. See this little thumbnail, this little square thumbnail? That was created in the work system. So all you had to do is upload this one picture. It was resized both to thumbnail and for Jeff Pearl's bio here. Flipping back over. Let's do one last thing before we get out of this particular tutorial. I'm going to show you how to get back in and edit this. We're familiar with editing content. To get back in, you have to place your mouse over him, single click, and you can see how it's placed that little border around it with the little squares. Now let's suppose that we've ran Mr. Duck off, and we've replaced him. I'm not even going to bother filling all that silly stuff out. So that's how we work with inline images. Again, those are the simplest. There's a whole lot more we're going to talk about images, but I wanted to get the basic stuff down, and we'll see you at the next tutorial.